Hey, how's it going guys? JC here, and today we're going to be looking at the world's #1 Aatrox player according to lolskill at the time of recording this. I'm going to make the information as digestible as possible, so I'm going to have all the information right now on the screen for you. So that's going to cover skill order, runes, items, all of that good stuff. And then I'll go over some of these little quirks or discrepancies. So what I noticed is that for runes, he always runs press the attack, and he always likes to run Revitalize in the defensive tree. He builds so many lifesteal items and also his W that Revitalize is just better. Press the attack, I guess because he's going to build quite a bit of attack speed as well through Triforce. So in that sense, it makes sense. As for skill order, it's generally he goes for W against melee matchups and E against range matchups. That's what he starts. So that's the discrepancy. And I think he usually goes for Q second. Generally, he'll max E, then W, then Q, and obviously put a point in ultimate whenever he can. As far as build goes, he always builds Ravenous Hydra no matter what. Every single game, Ravenous Hydra, he'll complete that first, and then he'll split off to either building PD against Duelist or Triforce against everything else. The only exception in this case is if he goes up against a AP range matchup, then he'll probably build a Hex Drinker if he's struggling. After one of those three items, if he hasn't built a Triforce yet, he'll build it unless he built a PD. So he normally skips Triforce if he builds a PD. After that, he'll finish off his boots, so either get Zerkers, Merc Treads, or Ninja Tabbies. And I noticed one thing is he really likes Mercurial Scimitar, so you know how when Aatrox ults, he wants to just keep smacking something like really fast, really hard, and if there's any CC, he wants to cleanse it right away. So he builds that almost every single game, unless there's absolutely no crowd control in the enemy team, then he'll probably skip that item and go for a Death Stance right away. He might actually build a Death Stance concurrently with Mercurial Scimitar, and that's just very situational. And most of the time he'll top that off with a GA at the very end. Okay, so that's all the most concise information you can get from me. Now we're going to jump into the game and see why is he #1 Aatrox in the world, and find out just exactly what he does and how he does it so that we can emulate it into our games if we ever want to main Aatrox. So this video will be like a bible for you guys to start off playing Aatrox. Okay, so one thing I noticed at the very start is he didn't actually guard blue buff. I'm going to turn off Fog of War, so he goes straight into lane, which is fine, and he gets W. He goes for Blood Price, so just make sure you pay attention to Blood Price, that he's going to, every third hit will do bonus damage, so most likely he'll hit this minion twice, and then go and trade into Illaoi, just like that. And then start hitting minions twice. Oh, he just starts hitting Illaoi because Illaoi just went into melee range. And what I'll notice is the next wave that comes, the first minion he kills will be level 2, so we'll see what he skills up. And also we can see that Gragas got a leash from bot lane, so he's going to make his way up, and around 3 minutes is when he ganks, or when he's at Tribush at around 2 minute 50. So now he skilled up Q second. So yeah, I think that's pretty much right. If he's up against a range matchup, he'll skill up Q second as well, but he'll have E first. So this is nearing the time where Gragas should be at red. And you'll know these timings just simply because you play enough top lane. So we can see that Illaoi is not very strong, you know, level 1, because all she has is her Q, which is that Tentacle Slam. And now we can see that at around 2 minute 40 is when Gragas would have been here, around here. So this is very silly for Rengar to just face check, you know, very, very silly. Especially because I'll show you the op.gg just on the side of the screen, so you know that there is like, what, Pobelter on the enemy team? This is Challenger, okay? So even the most top of the top players or most top junglers can actually, you know, fall for this. It's like a super obvious timing for Gragas to be here. Very silly. And this is a very bad start. And yeah, this tentacle just spawns to stop his recall, which is fine, but, you know, kind of annoying. What I noticed is that if you were to teleport away and say Illaoi has that tentacle thing on you, like when you're slowed and you're on the other side of the map, those tentacles can still slam and kill your teammates and all of that, so it's pretty nasty. At least I saw that on a YouTube video the other day. But yeah, anyways, we see that he went back, he bought a longsword and a health potion. So let's see what he does. He's going to get pushed into tower. That's like 100%. You can't really fight Illaoi as a level 3 Aatrox, level 4 Illaoi with this big minion wave, so all he's doing is turning on Bloodthirst and just attacking whatever he can. Okay. And we see that there's like pings over here, but they're from the enemy team, so we're not supposed to see that. But we can see it invade by Gragas over there. I think Illaoi would have went back, so this is a one-on-one. Rengar just fell behind, so that's pretty silly by him. And we know that mid lane's kind of low, but that doesn't really matter right now. So what matters is that Aatrox is now level 4, and he has 2 points in E. Illaoi teleports in, and he goes for an all-in right away, which is very crazy actually. He just turns on Blood Price and just goes ham. And that's going to get him that GA as well. So he has that GA with that red bar and, you know, that little swirly thing that you'll only see if you have GA, or unless you're Aatrox with your passive up, then you also have that swirly thing. That if you want to rewind it, you can see earlier there's this little swirling animation when his rage bar was all red. And that's like very common if you have GA. So that's one way to tell if an enemy Aatrox, if you're facing Aatrox, to know if he's going to revive or not, is based on his rage bar. And also when he's fully enraged, he gets like a crazy amount of attack speed or something like that. So on the bottom left hand side of the screen, it says that granting him attack damage, attack speed, and ability to survive fatal damage. So all of that when his passive is up. So that's really insane. I think that's why he went all in, is because he knows he can get his passive up right as Illaoi teleports, and that's as if you're a 5-stack Darius, you know? You just can't lose in a 1v1 situation, even if you're getting out items, and even if you have a bad start. Aatrox has that going for him. That passive is pretty insane. I think the downside to that passive is if you get stunned or kited, that passive's gonna fall off, and then even though you went all in, you realize that that passive's gone, and then you simply just die straight up. So that'll be the saddest thing to ever happen. Now we can see that he bought a Phage first. Okay, I actually thought he rushes Ravenous Hydra every time. Okay, that's very interesting. I'm pretty sure he's still going to buy out Ravenous Hydra before he finishes Triforce though. That's what I think. He goes straight for the all-in again because he never popped his passive. Wait, he did pop his passive last time. Jesus. But the thing is, he doesn't get revived anymore, so it says depleted on the bottom left. But I guess he still gets his AD bonus and his attack speed and all of that even when his revive is down. Like, he goes straight into lane and just goes for it. Super aggressive, and he always goes for teleport as well. That means he's going to snoop. If he can just simply walk into Illaoi, but I think it's also because he was level 6, so he did take advantage of that level 6, and he just went straight for it knowing that Illaoi has no flash. So I guess Aatrox has a very ham and aggressive playstyle if you play it right. You know, take advantage of level advantage. Like, he took full advantage of that, and then he just made it pay off. Also, the fact that he had Phage means that after he gets one auto off, he can keep going for more and more autos. Now his mid laner is like zoning them off, doing all that good stuff. But this Aatrox is doing insane amounts of work. This is a very recent game, by the way. So in preseason, he's played about like, what, 290 games? And before that, in the actual Season 7, he played about 2,000 games. So he's not new to this strategy. This strategy is probably what he will be going with for the rest of Season 8 as well. So he goes back. I would advise him to buy boots because, you know, tower's down. So he did sell his Tiamat, as you guys can, and he bought a pickaxe. Yeah, and boots. Okay, so exactly what I thought. Like, if I was in his situation, I'll do anything in my power to get boots. Like, that's a smart choice, is to get boots when that tower's down, because there is so much room to run away. And also, you'd want to roam as well, you know. And now, because top tower's down, map is getting opened up. Rift Herald's still not alive. So he took tower so early because of how much aggression he has and how much dueling power Aatrox has with his passive up. So you can imagine, say if you're facing a Jax or someone like that, if you are this guy and you build a PD and Ninja Tabbies against Jax, you're going to win. Like, straight up, you're going to win. So he would not go for Triforce and go for PD against someone like Jax or Fiora or something like that, against duelists, where he needs to be tanky and needs to win an auto attack war. So now he's going to push up, knowing that Gragas is down there. He can push this very safely, and also knowing that everyone's on the map, like mid lane's on the map. This is a very safe push. In lower elo, this might be a mindless push if all of these were missing. Like, these guys were in fog of war or the jungler was farming somewhere. Like, this will be kind of risky. But in this case, everyone's on the map. And also Inferno Drake getting contested. Aatrox could make a teleport down there, which he does, which is very good, because Inferno Drake's very important. Also the fact that his team seems to be doing very well. And this is like PantsAreDragons here. He's playing Vayne. But because he's not an ADC main, I don't think he's going to pull off any insane plays with Vayne. Because Vayne's a very hard champion to play, to be honest. I'm surprised they didn't get Inferno Drake, to be honest. Like, if it was me, I would just go for this, because there's still so much time left. Actually, not really, but yeah, there's time. There's enough time to ping this and take it out. So that's a very strange macro decision by these challenger players to, after winning teamfight, when no one's going to be near to contest, they didn't get an Inferno Drake. Very confused by that, but maybe I missed something and that they made the right call. So that one, I might have missed something, some very important detail. Oh, looks like Illaoi teleported. I only know that because we're spectator, so we can see the minimap and see teleports that are out of Fog of War, like as an animation. I know that if, say, Aatrox was playing the actual game and he somehow went over here, he can see the swirly thing. But the thing is, he won't see it on the map, but we can see it on the map. Okay, so now they're going to go all the way down for Inferno Drake, which they could have taken earlier. And also, it's not very safe to just keep shoving top until he saw Gragas down here. So now there's 4 people down here. They're either going to push mid or rotate down. So Aatrox decides to rotate down. Very smart move, because if you can close this out and cut them off here, which is what Aatrox would be doing if he's going down there, he decides to get tower, I guess because he decides not to cut them off with Rengar. It's still a possibility. I guess both options are fine. But this tower would be... yeah, they're going to get extra mid tower for that. So that's a very good decision. I mean, say if I was playing, I would have gotten mid tower straight away with no hesitation. But he kind of like dwelled on both ideas for a little bit. Okay, so we can now see that after his third back, he went for Tiamat. And this pickaxe is going to turn into a Ravenous Hydra. I guess Phage is very important against melee matchups because he wants to be able to jump on someone, hit them, and be able to have that movement speed to keep hitting someone. That's very important if, say, Aatrox has ult. You know, that movement speed is going to be very important and very crucial. So either getting that 1 or 2 autos off and then they just walk away from you, or you can just keep hitting them forever with Phage. I guess that also gets rid of the need for Blade of the Ruined King, which is what a lot of Aatrox players would buy. They'll buy that so that they can keep up with someone. But you actually don't need that if you have Phage. No, he's so dead. I guess that was a bit of a misplay, but you know what? You get to make a lot of mistakes and still be masters, which is a sad truth even though we're all a lot lower than masters. Because a lot of the time you'll hear like streamers, like challenger streamers saying, oh, master players are garbage or terrible, whatever. Like, Jesus. It's very, I don't know, very eye-opening, but I guess like if all of my viewers, and me included, can get challenger, then okay, I guess we can say that, but still, it's a very bad thing to say. I wouldn't say it. I like how Inferno Drake is now sleeping on the other side, not normally like this. Okay, so let's see what Aatrox does. He finishes off his Ravenous Hydra, 82 CS at 13 minutes. It's not the greatest, but I guess he's been roaming a lot. This wave is slow shoving, so it really sucks for Aatrox. He's going to miss a lot. But on the other hand, Illaoi, if she can catch this whole wave, she's going to be in for a lot of EXP, a lot of catch-up EXP in this case. Actually, yeah, and she's going to get a lot of gold out of this. So Aatrox decides to go for Rift Herald. Pretty decent decision. And also, you get Undying. You actually get Hellbent when you're doing jungle camps, which is really nice. So you get that increased attack speed and base attack damage. So that's going to help clear something like Rift Herald really quickly. I think normally that doesn't happen, or before the update didn't happen, or maybe the Hellbent didn't even exist before the update. But either way, it exists when you do jungle camps and when you hit other champions. It perpetuates it when you hit champions and monsters. But when you're hitting lane minions, it doesn't perpetuate that passive. You can stack it up to Hellbent on minions, and then after that it'll fall off really quickly. So let's just check if that's the case. And notice how he has it on blood price all the time. Just because Ravenous Hydra is going to heal him more than the amount of damage he'll take from blood price. So you guys can see that he did end up stacking up his passive through minions only. So he's going to join this team fight. He's very proactive with his teleports. Like, he always looking to join a team fight. And do you guys see that stun? That's why he gets the QSS or Mercurial Scimitar. It's for that reason. And this one as well. Because it gives him a move speed boost as well once he gets rid of the crowd control. It's very nice. So he usually gets that right after his Triforce. He has to watch out. He might actually die. Say if Vayne was in position or really quick to loop around, like Aatrox could have died there, I think. Like one condemn into the wall and Aatrox is dead. He's going straight for Vayne. Wow, that's a beautiful knockup. But also Vayne kind of tumbled into it at the same time. And the BM. So yeah, his Waveclear is just E, auto attack, Tiamat. Very standard. But I thought like a lot of people might want to know because it's very important if you can shove out side lanes efficiently. And maybe some people that don't play Aatrox might want to know this. So it's just E, auto, Tiamat. Try to do that when you can splash it into the cannon and maybe the backline as well. We have to take note that he still has Rift Herald. He could use it at one of the outer towers. But say if bot lane tower, the outer tower is still up, I'm pretty sure that he would be going down to bot lane and using Rift Herald there, just taking it out. But because all of the outer towers are done, he's going to decide on something else, which we'll find out very soon. He's going to go straight for an Illaoi kill maybe. He has no teleport, so when he comes up here... Oh, okay. Perfect cancel. So he just Qs and then walks away. I'm surprised that he didn't want to fight this time. Even though his Undying is up. And his ult is up, so he has all his cooldowns. But he chooses not to fight Illaoi. I guess because Illaoi is like really scary, also Illaoi got her E off on him. Like with Illaoi ult, you're going to get one-shotted pretty quickly, but he does have his passive, so it's very interesting to see what he does. But I noticed that he likes to abuse that level 6 to just straight up win lane, which is very important. Very interesting. Like that's the perks of, say, shoving someone in all the time. So he always likes to all in. There was 2 all-ins that he did, and they were all around this spot. After he pushes one wave, like not right away, like not push so fast, but push it so that it's still slow pushing over here, and then just all-ins. Like even tanks a tower shot or 2. So we can see he's working through his Triforce, and he prioritized Phage first, then Stinger. Okay, his Rift Herald's about to fall off, so he's going to summon it at a random spot here, which is fine because his team is all here, so they can defend Rift Herald and escort it to at least do one major hit onto the tower. At the same time, Rift Herald is here and yeah, didn't need to escort, but they're kind of like all over the place right now, very unorganized. Baron will be up in a minute 30. And looks like mid laner's just going to push out top. Aatrox went back, is going to split push bot. There's like a 80-second cooldown on teleport, so roughly when Baron spawns, that's when his teleport will be up as well. So actually a very good call to go bot. And right now he has finished his Triforce, so I think his next back he'll finish off his boots and start working towards Mercurials. So he sees a team fight and he straight away just goes straight to helping the team fight out. Jumps in, E, and then ult. Or E jump in, and then ult. But yeah, he changes it like in between Blood Price and Bloodthirst. But mostly it's Bloodthirst at low health and Blood Price at higher health. Didn't work out at all for him. Illaoi OP. We do have to note that Ashe isn't doing so well. 1 and 4. But everyone else is doing decent. Okay, so the fight's still going on. Like they're just like poking in and out, just walking in and out. And Aatrox just revived. Aatrox comes straight into the fight with teleport and then just flashes in and ults. Ult auto. So yeah, that's some pretty aggressive plays. And you guys can see exactly as I predicted, he went for Merc Treads. This sword will probably turn into a Vamp Scepter and it's going to turn into Mercurials. And after getting that kill on Gragas, they went straight for Baron. So just very aggressive plays into an objective. But they're usually very calculated aggressive plays. Illaoi had potential to one-shot everybody, but she, I guess, didn't make use of that ult properly or something. Oh, that CC chain. Looks like Aatrox goes towards top lane and pushes out this giant juicy wave. He's going to get so much gold out of this. But at the same time, he won't be helping his team getting more objectives. His team's just beasting it, to be honest. His team's getting like kills left and right here. And everyone's still alive, except... Oh, okay, maybe spoke too soon. But while that's happening, if Aatrox was here, this tower would have been down, but then he would have missed this giant wave. So it's questionable, but I think this mid tower might have been more important. It's just that in the long run, this is probably better for Aatrox himself. So if Aatrox can really carry, then getting that big wave is probably better. But if he can't carry, then mid tower's a lot better. Because maybe later on we'll see Aatrox use that gold for some really good purpose, like Mercurial Scimitar, which is going to get very soon. Hey, do you guys see that? He just stood there and tanked those minions for a little bit just to keep up his passive. Because the moment you see how he was hitting these minions and that passive just faded really quickly, but when you're in combat with jungle monsters, passive stays up. So he was keeping those two small rocks alive so that if anyone was to fight him, he'll have his passive ready right away. That's a little Aatrox trick, guys. That's something that you guys should know, is monsters and champions keep your rage bar up. Lane minions will only keep your rage bar up if you're using a lot of abilities and hitting them with blood price. Otherwise they'll fall off right away, like really fast. So you can use this little trick where you aggro monsters just to keep it up and wait for, say, Vigar, who might have walked across this bush and face checked. Then you would have your passive up right away to do maximum damage. But yeah, let's see what combos he uses. E, and then he dives in with Q. Just ults and autos. Like, pretty straightforward, and he's keeping up blood price. So, I guess mechanically not too intensive, which is good. That way you can focus on other things. Okay, yeah, his thing was depleted. But he just goes really ham. Maybe later on, after he gets Mercurials. As I predicted, it's also going to be a QSS Vamp Scepter, and I think he will finish it off with a GA. So once he has his passive up and GA, he's just going to be able to keep diving at the enemy. He's going to get revived and dive at the enemy again, get revived, dive at the enemy. It's actually pretty obnoxious, but it's pretty effective in a team fight if you're front lining and doing a lot of damage, and also getting rid of crowd control with Mercurial Scimitar, doing like a lot of just mayhem in the front line. So it's really nice. Sort of like a Tryndamere on drugs, right? Because he can keep reviving rather than being immune, but like, it's very different. Going for this playstyle as Aatrox could be really fun. Because of how ham he is, you know, in lane, he's very aggressive. But I'm pretty sure that against a ranged champion, he wouldn't be as aggressive because you can't be when you're just spamming E into the minion wave just to CS. And then later on, maybe when you start pushing, then you can Q into them. Like, I'd say that against a ranged champion, he'll let it get pushed in. Once he gets his abilities, once he gets his like passive up, then he'll jump on them with Q and they'll start fighting them. And then use E to slow them. I'm pretty sure that's how he plays range matchups. But also buy something defensive like a Hex Drinker. Or maybe Ninja Tabbies or Merc Treads. He'll buy those a little bit earlier. But perhaps he always gets Phage really early because he wants that move speed to keep up with someone. And that makes complete sense as well. So really nice. Right now he has his Mercurials. Pretty important. Very cool item for him. With the only exception, if there was no crowd control on the enemy team, then he'll probably skip that for Death Dance. So he's going to join the team fight right now. Let's see who he dives into. He's going to dive into that big wave Vayne, right? Yeah. I like how he goes into bush first. And then he pops ult right away. Flashes onto Vayne because it got condemned away. And it's very lucky he didn't get condemned to a wall. Like, I thought chances are he would have gotten stunned. But still no luck. I wonder how he's going to win this. Like, these team fights are going very south for Aatrox's team. So something amazing has to be pulled off very soon. Okay, so he revives and we can see that he's buying a pickaxe, which is going to turn into Death's Dance. The thing is, he doesn't always buy both items like Mercurials and Death's Dance, so it's sometimes a little bit different. In other games, I've seen him sub it out for, say if he doesn't buy Mercurials or if he doesn't decide to buy Death's Dance, I've seen him buy Maw of Malmortius, PD, and Black Cleaver. So those are the items that he can choose between if, say, he doesn't buy a Death's Dance or a Mercurials. So those are a bunch of options, and then he'll usually top it off with a GA. Wow, that's a very good bard ult for them. Jesus. His passive isn't up again. Oh, it's just about to come up. That's so unfortunate. But blue team's actually managing to hold their own. Like, amazingly so. It's a very close fight. It's a 1-for-1 so far, so no one's in the lead to get Baron yet. But yeah, you guys can see that he's very teamfight oriented, and right now it's 200 CS at 28 minutes, closing in on 29. I guess this particular game, it's all about, I feel like in higher elo, You have to participate in team fights and prioritize that over anything else, because if you're not in the team fight and they happen to have a 4v5 and you guys just get wiped out 4v5, then the game pretty much closes from there because Baron gets taken and the game just ends. So in higher elo, in say Challenger, I think you have to be in the team fights. You have to get that teleport and be in the team fights. Split pushing can work, but it's going to be a lot rougher. In lower elo, it's not as punishing because objectives don't get taken as quickly or as aggressively. And also, people in lower elo, say in plat or gold, they wouldn't know how to close out the game just by simply getting Baron right away. But in Challenger, if they get Baron, they can probably close it out really quickly. So we see Aatrox is splitting down there. He has TP up and he also has his Undying up, so he'll get revived for sure. And also his team is warding them away from Baron, so this is a very good way of split pushing right now. Getting bot tower is really nice. Looks like a team fight's gonna start here. Okay. They probably have to back away then. He just got caught out. Asol got caught out really badly. So right now he clears out a jungle camp and goes straight to bot lane because he knows that the enemy team is going for Baron right now. He also has teleport if he ever decides to join. So if say his own teammates can contest this properly, he might teleport as well. Most likely he's going to get inhib first before he does anything else though. He does not get the steal off. Illaoi is just going nuts, and everyone in that pit is going to die, or anyone on the blue team at least. Gets inhib, trades it for Baron. Not the best exchange, but you know, this game's going to be very interesting. We're going to see how Aatrox carries because from what I recall, he is going to carry. So E and then Q. Can you actually jump over that stun? Oh, and then he just goes straight for it because he has Mercurials. Very nice. But actually, I'm not sure if when he jumps in midair and jumps over that Vigar stun, does it actually jump over or does he get stunned in midair? I'm pretty sure he gets stunned in midair. But then I heard that he's unstoppable during the queue now, like due to an update. So I really need to test that, but I can't test it in practice mode by myself. But maybe you guys in the comments will know for sure, like once you test it. But I don't want people commenting because they're second guessing. Because I know when I ask these kind of questions, people second guess and say like, oh, it stuns or oh, it doesn't stun, and they don't even check. So they just like guess that it might stun. And then when I realize and check it myself, I realize that they just made it up. So it's pretty silly. Don't do that, guys. Okay, so apparently the op.gg replay got corrupt and then I couldn't actually watch anything past the 33-minute mark or something like that. So right now I'm just on PantsAreDragon stream to watch the final parts of this game so that you guys can have some closure and see how they actually ended. So they catch out Aurelion Sol and you guys can notice on the bottom right hand of the screen that Illaoi disconnected. So now they're going to, I guess, do a final push where it's just going to be a 4v4. They're going to push into mid and see what happens. But we can quickly see right now that Aatrox and Rengar are at top lane. So it means that there's two people that can possibly be defending. So it could be a base race right now. And that's kind of scary. At the same time, you know, the enemy doesn't know that Illaoi is missing. I also muted the sound so that I don't have two people talking, by the way. So that's just so that you guys know. I just wanted some closure so that I don't just end this game on a, oh, we don't know what happened at the very end, and we just leave it at that. So really nice Ash arrow. They're going to stop the backs. They're going to stop the recalls, and we're going to see if they can close out the game. So those Nexus towers are falling down. Unfortunately, I can't see what's happening, and we are watching from Pants' view. But I'm pretty sure you guys can see the item build, right? Like, if you guys can rewind if you want to see the item build for Aatrox. It just showed up just then. But you guys can also see it. I'll put it on the screen as well. You guys can see the final build. So just so that it saves some trouble. So it looks like both Nexus turrets are down from what I can see from the minimap. And that could mean that a very easy backdoor. Oh, nice tumble. But yeah, that move speed boost from Mercurials though. He can press heal. Guess not. I think if he healed, he might have been able to get one more auto. If that's a crit, then he could kill. But hard to say. But yeah, I think because Illaoi DC'd, it's an automatic win for Aatrox. That's a kind of like an unfortunate thing for that to happen, really. Because there's a very high chance that, you know, both teams have a very high chance of winning. It's just that Illaoi is missing. Or she disconnected, rather. I might turn on some sound. Because I don't think he talks, right? He doesn't really talk.
Oh, wait. Okay. We have no towers.
But yeah, the fact that right now we have a dead Bard and also Illaoi's gone. There's only 3 people that can defend and there's a naked Nexus. So this Vayne has to pull off something amazing, like not auto attack minion. Get the kill on Ashe, not even. Damn. That's game over. Literally game over. Okay, so I guess that's how the game ends. Hope you guys enjoyed. This Aatrox actually played really well, to be honest. Like, extremely well against Illaoi, that I could not ever imagine Aatrox beating Illaoi, but he did. So that was amazing. But yeah, GG, well played. Hope you guys enjoyed that. You guys can see the end score screen as well, so that's pretty amazing. That's something to like, you know, actually something to see at the very end, which I don't normally get to see if I am on the replay screen. GG, well played. Thank you so much for watching to the very end. I'll see you all in the next video. Cheers.